So the sun has moved on. It's moved on from gateway number 15, hexagram number 15, where we talked about the love of humanity and how the 15 has this possibility to accept humanity and connections and love relationships on so many, many different levels, and how it can be interpreted in all kinds of different ways. Now the sun has moved on into gateway number 52, which we might say is a very, very different placement. The 52 is the gateway we call mountain. And if you've ever been around mountains, you'll know they're so majestic. They stand there, they're so still. If you've had the good fortune to visit the Himalayas, those mountains used to be under the ocean. They find fossils and seashells and all kinds of things in the mountain. And slowly, 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 it has risen out from being underneath the sea. So mountain is this not completely static thing, but it holds a great deal of energy, a great deal of possibility within it. And so for us, when we're looking at this concept of mountain in the I Ching, we're just seeing, this is really an opportunity to find that stability, to find as stable a possibility as there can be in our experience in life. So in the Book of Lines, mountain, keeping still. If you have been to the mountains, mountains just very amazing. If you go to the Himalayas, they're up there. They're a most extraordinary thing, and it looks like nothing is going to move them whatsoever. And so this whole concept of stillness is your inner stillness and quietness allows you to gain perspective over all life circumstances. So in this last day, there's been this tremendous ruction in the United States concerning the dissolution of the Roe v. Wade, possibility for women to have charge over their own bodies in terms of pregnancies and births. It's a huge story. It's a huge, upset. But it's going to lead to all kinds of creative outputs and creative solutions to it. So the great opportunity for all of us to recognize, we might be moved by the outside, but what is it that's really going on the inside? Because that's always the important thing. And so the description around this hexagram, this gateway, is first of all, recognize what it is that's going on in your world, concentration on it, find some focus on it. And through concentration, just holding that focus, it can lead to contemplation, where you start filtering in all kinds of other bits and pieces to it. And that can lead to meditation, where you just get the total inside story on whatever it is that's going on. And meditation leads to inner health and healing. Meditation, medication. So it is really an essential thing. The crazier things appear to get on the outside, more and more important it is to find out what's going on the inside. And I always say to people, when I see they have the gate 52 in their chart, mountain, stillness, they have the best view. They have the best possibility of seeing everything that's going on around them. They're sitting in the top spot. What on earth would necessitate them to run off down that hillside and get involved in everything? And of course, with human design, we say, pay attention to your type and authority. And yes, you'll find your way off the mountaintop, and you will find your way to get involved in things that relate to you directly. In the meantime, sit tight, be still. So in the human design wheel, we see the 52 is right at the bottom of the chart here, right at the bottom of the wheel. It's in the root center, in the top right-hand corner of the root center. When we're looking at the root center, generally speaking, we're looking at that place where either we feel ourselves supported by Mother Earth, cradled by Mother Earth, if you will, or we feel we're sitting on a volcano and we just got to get up and do stuff. So, as I say, the 52 really has that inner stillness, that inner calm, and the whole thing is to engage with it, to find out what it's really all about. Now, in human design, of course, we have the channel that connects us to the sacral center here through the gateway number 9. And the gateway number 9 is all about details. So the stillness just sits there forever. Just calm, quiet, waiting. That's its position. And slowly, the details come in, all the details that come in. And what happens is when there is a movement there, when there is a response, all the details are in place. And the future, because this 52 is part of what we call the collective logic circuitry, and logic is always aimed to the future. Once those details are all in place, the future is assured. But in the meantime, sit tight. Anybody that's got the 52 in their design, and we're saying the 52 is the sun now, the sun is really shining this energy on us today to really see, can we find that inner stillness when the world around us is going absolutely crazy? And yes, we can. But there are steps to be taken to realize. So let's have a look through the lines here. Today, we're in the first line. The sun is in the first line. And the first line, always when you come across the first line, it lays the foundation for that particular hexagram, for anything that's going to follow after that. The first line really is the foundation. So the foundation of stillness and the mountain is pause before acting. Right? And there's that great thing, we're human beings, not human doings. So pause before acting. Inner stillness is sufficient unto itself. You find that calm inside yourself. I talked about the 15, knowing when we're in love with our life, knowing when we're totally in tune with whatever it is that's going on around us. We're in the zone, we're in a state of consciousness. We are this. It's the same thing with the 52, with mountain. When you find that inner stillness, absolutely nothing can ruffle you. Your firmness to always act appropriately, or anxiety to act anyhow, affects everything in life. And just there's that whole thing. If there is that inner stillness, yes, you can be involved in the craziest things going on around you, but you have that calm, that quiet inside yourself. So the Earth's placement here, at ease in life, at ease in life. You're able to pause for personal reflection before doing anything. Right? It's my life. I'm here to live my life on my terms. Why would I have to be constrained to get stressed out living my life according to other people's stuff? So the root center is all about being at home in oneself, supported by Mother Earth. This is my life. Or we engage in the other side of things where we get stressed out. And and you can just check on this in your own life. Anytime you're in stress, you're living your life according to somebody else's timing, somebody else's input, somebody else's obligations. And when I use the word obligation, I'm looking at something very mental. You should do this, you could do this, you must do this, you might do this. And there's a tremendous pressure that comes from something somebody else told you at some stage, or something else they considered important, when probably they'd screwed it up themselves in the first place. Oh, well, you really should do this. And there's the whole thing about human design. Check in with your own type and authority before you take on any kind of an obligation here. So at ease in life is the foundation for the 52. The Mars energy here, your restlessness has difficulty in waiting and often commits to unrealistic causes. I remember at the time this was happening in the UK, in England, when Brexit was about to be voted on, or, people were all up in arms about it. And there was something like 1 million people it looked like 1 million people got together for a demonstration against leaving Europe. Did it have any effect on anybody? No. So, there is that thing of the combining energies and combining intentions, but one really has to be clear inside. Is this actually going to go anywhere? Or is it just a possibility to express something or other? So restlessness has a difficulty in waiting, often commits you to unrealistic causes. Be really, really clear in that. Do I have to make a move on something? The second line, which will happen Sunday, the 26th, be still and know. Remember when I say about second lines have a very natural acquaintance with life. They're not terribly sophisticated. They discover things without necessarily knowing the significance of what they've found. And the second line says, be still and know, releasing fears and concerns around your apparent inaction. Right? Very easy to get swept up in everybody else's ways of doing stuff. And this is just say, be still and know. Know inside yourself. When attracted by outside influences, it is important to remain true to your own way. That is absolutely the most essential thing for any second line, is maintaining that natural connection to things. So here with Venus gives it an uptick. You pause for clarity in which you see your outer reality as a reflection of your inner being. We've been persuaded that life is something that happens to us rather than we are this life. And, you know, the whole energy is here, be still, have that opportunity to really look, you know, does this really concern me on an inner level? Or is it just I'm reacting to whatever it is that's going on the outside? So Venus has that possibility to find clarity, personal clarity. Mars energy with the second line is pushing. You can easily get swept up in all manner of events that do not serve you entirely. You know, there's always that thing. You put your best intentions into something, you put all your energy into something, and it, you know, doesn't matter what the outcome is. There's always that potential for a sour taste. You know, I gave it my best, but it didn't really work out. Didn't give me that sense of wholeness and completion. Didn't really go anywhere. And we are here to have a very, very full life experience, to get over those senses of disappointments and those committing to things that really don't take us where our life is really trying to direct us. So then we come to the third line, and we remember all third lines have this kind of try anything, get involved in anything, and learning through things that don't work out, you know, committing to things, but there's always that engagement, that wanting to make a connection. And here we are on Monday, the 27th, and the sun's energy on this day being resigned, inner composure in times when nothing needs to happen. Right? There's a difference between responding to something and reacting to it. Right? Reacting comes out of an obligation, comes out of some kind of dogma, some kind of set conditioning. Response is pure and natural. And so the third line is saying, look, stillness is what's needed here. Things will resolve themselves, but finding that inner composure is what will lead to those solutions. You resist acting to accumulate necessary resources or become pressured and resentful. And we can see how easily that can happen. I should be doing something. Something must be taking place. Something needs to be done. And the whole thing is, you know, bring in the necessary details, informations that's through the stillness, bring in access to one's own intelligence to see what it is that needs to happen next. And so Saturn gives it the energy. Your meditative nature allows you to pause to recoup your energy and review your purpose. Right? Very, very important thing to understand. Find that inner calm, you know, and recoup your energy, like bring your energy in ready for when it really is going to be needed. Bring in the intelligence, bring in the things that you need for what it is that's going to take place in the future. Right? 52 is storing energy for the future. And then the Venus energy, pressured into attempting to find harmony in restrictive circumstances, you find little. So a great source of dissatisfaction is trying to find harmony in a situation that is just disharmonious. And you can't get it, and you can't find that harmony. You can't find reason, sensibility. I mean, the level of emotion that can be expressed in the world over things that sooner or later are going to work themselves out, going to pan themselves out when intelligence is applied to them. One of the things that has to be understood about this age in which we're living now, we have lived in an age that very much relied on the status quo, the setup of justice as a logical way in which humanity can go forward. We've set our sights on democracy as being the only possibility. That or the king, the dictator, the ruler, whatever. This age is coming to an end. This age is coming to an end to make space for the arrival of the age of the individual. We didn't come here to be a mob. We didn't come here to be a group. Yes, we have families. Yes, we have alliances. Yes, we have considerations. But the most important thing is that we live our life true to ourselves. So between third and fourth lines, there's that twist. And the fourth line is this influential potential, but also that possibility of being rejected or, nobody really wants me because I can't get 100% consensus here. We are not all together in this. And so the fourth line is called keeping still, avoiding strong urges to act just to combat restlessness. If nothing needs to happen, nothing needs to happen. Let it be. You avoid restless action through self-mastery or tend to be frustrated when inactive. There never was a time on this planet before when meditation is absolutely the needed thing, to find that inner calm, to find that stillness, and just recoup the energy, build the energy for when it's time to release it and time to put it out. And that's what this fourth line is saying, is that if you cannot find that cohesion, stay still. Wait for your moment. It doesn't mean to say avoid the scenario altogether, but it does mean bide your time. And here Saturn gives it the energy. You embrace self-mastery and personal freedom through meditation and gentle restraint. It's not about avoidance. It's not about unnecessary hesitation. It's about being realistic. Are my moves going to be really effective in this time if I get up and do something? Jupiter, the very expansive energy, doubting your purpose during times of inaction, you tend to try to make yourself busy. And there is always that possibility. Instead of maintaining stillness, getting involved in things that really don't bring you any sense of fulfillment, they keep you busy, they keep you distracted. But just to see, there's that great possibility of finding that calmness inside. Of course, yes, the 52 can build things that are amazing through that stillness, through that dedication. Tremendous things can be built. But what it's saying here is, and we're talking about Monday, Tuesday now of next week, we're talking about that thing where, if nothing really can creatively take place here, nothing can be furthered into a future outcome that brings benefit, leave it alone. Then we come to the fifth line, and fifth lines are always in that place of being able to be guiders or leaders. They have the vision, they have the potential to see over things, they can see how things get fixed. And for the fifth line, there's always that thing, can they make these concepts practical? Can they come down to earth? So what is said with this fifth line, sitting on top of the mountain here, this still place, being watchful, checking it all out, and recognizing that words and actions are not necessarily the same thing. Yes, the fifth line can give very good guidance, point things out, but does that mean anything actually needs to be taking place, or is it just be inspired by what is being said here? Being careful giving guidance or getting muddled between what you say and what gets done. Right? Being very, very clear of that. Words and actions are not necessarily the same thing. The fifth lines can paint wonderful pictures about things. Oh, it can be so much better because of this. Oh, things can be improved so much because of that. Oh, you don't want to do this. And fifth lines, when a fifth line really gets muddled, it's because they start rescuing. Yes, they can see how to benefit people's ways of life and stuff, but jumping off that mountain to, I got to get down there and fix things. I got to get in there and get involved. And then there comes that muddle. They're no longer living their own life. They're very much caught in what apparently are the needs of other people. You're at ease in being reliable for what you say and how and when action is needed. That is the Earth's placement. That's being at ease in yourself. And then the Pluto energy, outspoken comments bring transformation, but also regrets when you're misunderstood. Just trying to be helpful, just trying to point out the way for you, and nobody gets it. Nobody can recognize your intentions. Nobody can recognize you've got this amazing view of the potentials and possibilities, but you're stretching overboard on behalf of other people rather coming from your own integrity. And then, of course, there's the potential for misunderstanding and, rash, outspoken comments can lead to all kinds of difficulties thereafter. And then we come to the sixth line, the mountaintop, if you will, meaning, finding clarity in your inner stillness. Life, somehow or other, we're all in our own different ways questing for meaning. And we can only really get meaning when we are literally stopped in our tracks or content to sit on top of the mountain and just find that stillness. And all of a sudden, everything is revealed. Your calm appreciation comes through an inner stability unaffected by outside pressures. What I was talking about with the 15 and finding yourself in the zone, finding yourself in love, nothing can get through to you. Nothing can knock you out of your life when you're in that space. You're just centered and absolutely clear. And the 52 is also giving us that possibility. In the first place, it says pause before acting. Right? Really check. Am I on this thing or am I reacting? And then the sixth line, the view from the top of the mountain, is saying there is the potential of finding meaning in your life when you find that inner stillness. Your calm appreciation comes through an inner stability, unaffected by outside influences and pressures. It's a huge understanding there. All of us have had these moments of absolute stillness and calm. And the sun going through the 52 this week is really going to bring about some kind of reassurance for us if we can tune into it. Yes, the world is going crazy. Yes, it's going crazier by the minute, apparently. Can I find that calm inside myself? Watching all this stuff going on, appreciating what it is that's going on, but also, most importantly, finding out what's so important for me. Is my calm, my placement in this life? Yes, contribution can happen. Yes, of course, we can be involved in bringing that stillness, that calm, that clarity into other people's lives. Venus gives a flavor here to the sixth line. Inner development brings the tranquility that allows you to meld into the mysteries of life. We've got all these great sciences and religions and all kinds of things. People have written thousands upon thousands of books about the meaning of life. What is it all about? I work on the basis that life is a mystery. I just really appreciate that. Yes, I've got human design. Yes, I can open all kinds of doorways with human design, but I can't always tell what's on the other side. Life is really a mystery, and having that stillness inside really can open doorways to experiencing those mysteries. Neptune, love for love's sake, the highest form of love, our kind of spiritual connection with love, if you will, but also the potential for being really foggy in things. Your imaginative quality enters into the core of stillness and rests apart from the world. So the imagination can literally move away from whatever it is that's going on. It dissipates, it disappears from the chaos, if you will. It just sits on the mountaintop in the clouds and doesn't necessarily want to engage so much, if at all, with the humdrum, the chaos, and the liabilities that go on in life. So all of these possibilities reside within this 50-second hexagram. And I just say to you, we have this amazing time at the moment when there is a furor in the world in so many different areas to find that inner calm and find the inner intelligence. Because when you find that inner intelligence, you'll find there is always a way through. So I leave you with the mountaintop. Find that stillness, have an amazing time. Be the one who can find the quiet when everybody else is going bananas. See you next time.